What's up, everybody? It's another week in real estate, and I'm going to be putting out a video every week. Just giving you guys a quick rundown on what I'm seeing in the market, what the buyers that I'm working with are up against, what the sellers that I'm working with are up against, and just an overall temperature of the real estate market in 2021. So what I want to talk about today with you is the deals that I have currently pending, that are subject to sellers finding suitable housing, what's working from my buyers in this market, the inventory levels, and where the market's kind of going to moving forward. So I want to start off, so I have about 5 deals right now that are in escrow pending, and they're made up of, so 2 out of those 5 deals are sellers, 3 of them are buyers, and 4 out of the 5 are subject to suitable housing. And what that means is that either my buyers are on one side where they're waiting for the sellers to find suitable housing, or my sellers are on the side where they've accepted an offer on their house and now they're actively looking to purchase their next home. And what we're actually seeing in that regard is becoming very, very common. Sellers are anxious and a little bit nervous that yes, they can sell their house for top dollar, but where are they going to move to next? So the markets that I'm going to be talking about today in general are like Melrose, Stoneham, Medford, Wakefield, Malden, Everett, generally the Middlesex County areas. So what's working for my buyers today in this market, in the seller's market, is we're putting escalation clauses, and I've talked about what an escalation clause is in a few of my videos in the past. And what we're putting in those escalation clauses that I didn't discuss before is we're not putting a cap in. So in your normal escalation clause, it's, we're willing to pay $5,000 over the highest offer that's been presented, but we're not willing to go more than X amount. So what we're doing is just we're taking out that last part where we're not willing to go more than X amount. So, for example, if you have a house that's for, listed at $600,000, we're putting in there that we're willing to beat your highest offer by $5,000, but we're not willing to go higher than $650,000. So, by us waiving that not higher than $650,000, we're adding language into that says that there's no cap, but we reserve the right to review the highest offer that comes in, the highest amount that comes in, and decline the escalation, so we don't necessarily have to beat it. So what this is doing is it's putting my buyers in a position to review an offer that comes in higher than what they're willing to offer, and then if they want to beat it, that's their right. If they don't want to beat the offer, they can explain to the agent that we're not going higher. That's what recently won 2 deals for me, for my buyers, and it's something that I suggest for a lot of buyers out there. Or you're already offering $100,000 over asking anyways, so it depends, but that's what's working for my buyers right now. What we're looking at for inventory, this is the spring market. This is when all the inventory comes on. It's no surprise that we're seeing more and more inventory come on every week. Is it keeping up with the demand? I certainly don't think so. There's a lot of pent-up demand out there from buyers. There's a lot of pent-up sellers also that are coming to the market who wanted to sell last year, didn't sell during the pandemic, who are now listing the houses on the market. Can you blame them with all these headlines out there about, being a seller's market and prices going $100,000 over asking? So yes, inventory is definitely coming to the market. Is it keeping up with the demand? I don't think so. I think I read somewhere recently that there was a national survey done that there's about 1 million housing units that need to be built or come to the market every year in order to keep up with demand. And I think we're somewhere like 3 million housing units behind where we're supposed to be. So I think that's the macro look at the market. But a micro look at the market, such as Boston, our population continues to grow every year. People come into our economy for work and school and so forth. So our population continues to grow, and housing just isn't keeping up. Where I think the market is going is right now we're in an adjustment period. Before the pandemic, every spring market adjusts to the previous year. This is where appreciation kind of gets built in. I think for the past 60 years, or for as long as they've kept track, homes have appreciated on average 3% year over year. Some years are more, some years are less. Year over year for Boston, for the Boston and Greater Boston area, homes have appreciated around 10% year over year. So from last year to this year, the home that was worth $600,000 has now gone up to $660,000 in just 1 year, which is some serious appreciation. What that's going to do though is after these prices settle down and adjust from the spring market, anything that gets priced in the summer market will be at the top. So a house right now that gets listed in March for $600,000 and sells in June for $700,000, any comparable property in July or August that is going to be listed will most likely be listed at that higher price point at the $700,000 because it's a comp. The sellers realize it, the agents realize it. What we're not going to see, and at least what I think, is we're not going to see houses going $100,000 over in July or August because that's already been built in. Appreciation has already been built into that price. So not to say that they can't, but more than likely that's where prices are going to start to kind of level off and stable off. But the main point that comes down to this is supply and demand. It's just very simple. If there's more supply out there, if there's more inventory out there, prices will probably level off. They're certainly not going to crash, but they're going to level off. As long as the demand keeps up and outpaces the supply, then prices are going to continue to go up. So that's what I've got for this week. That's what I'm seeing in the market. If you have any questions or any friends or family that are looking to jump into this market, whether they're buyers or sellers, reach out to me. I'd be happy to share some advice with them and some tips on how to win and take advantage of the market, whether you're a buyer or seller.